Everybody, welcome to episode 21 of Composing with Jerry. I am going to be taking you along with me as I compose. I'm working on the battle music that I said I was going to have by now. A lot's happened this week for me, and I have found myself without a lot of time. But this is Sunday. This is going to be. I might be able to release it tonight still, but I'm I want to crank out some of this music. And I started a little while ago, about a half hour ago, and I thought, I should probably just capture myself doing this because I need to have something to post for today. And so, but I thought I would incorporate Satan's theme, obviously because he's the motivating factor behind this battle, this war. And even though I still kind of subscribe to the idea that this was much more of a battle of ideas and 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 philosophies more than it was an actual physical battle. Because um, anyway, I still feel that the music that is descriptive of this is still going to be confrontational, combative, um, and so I mean it's basically battle music in all other areas other than maybe being physical. So anyway, so what I've done is I basically went through and I copied the initial Satan theme here with the bassoons, bass clarinet, and then the strings. But I have incorporated the brass here. Um, I just basically have like have a loud attack here, and then a sustained soft lower. This is like the first C on the piano with a G and then a C with a lower brass. So I'm just going to play just the brass right now. So they have this is kind of this. It's almost like it's rumbling. I probably will actually. I think I'm going to bring in the. Yep, and then. Okay, so I think I should probably bring in a bass drum. Okay, we're gonna do a timpani hit, and then we will do a roll, starting with a dotted half note, and we'll just keep that going. Oh, come on, oops. Keep on doing whole notes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tie all of these. Tie those. And then, yeah, there we go. All right. And then we'll have that dynamic be, then this is going to be super soft. And then we're going to obviously going to be doing tremolos here. Let's see, tremolos. Okay, just kind of this rumbling, and let's hear that. Maybe I'll make that mezzo piano. It's hard because the dynamics in the way it's played back in MuseScore. Sometimes I wish there was we've had this discussion before in previous episodes, but I wish there was a middle ground between mezzo piano and mezzo forte. There's like a middle because sometimes it's not great. But I forgot that I need to add my tremolo there, and then I need to add my tremolo there. Okay, so because I already do it here after the initial thing, but and I'm also thinking I want to do the same thing with the bass drum. But let's just hear it real quick with just the timpani. Okay, I think that decrescendo can take a little bit longer to get there. So let's bring this over here. There we go. All right, so do the same thing with the bass drum. We're going to have a loud, okay, and then continue having then we're going to have to in order to do triplets, you have to kind of do a you can't just yeah, you have to normally when you select the rest, then you can determine what you're going to be doing next by giving it a numbered value. In this case, 5 is a quarter note value. And then in order to do triplet, you do Command or Control if you're using Windows, but Command 3. So it's a triplet. You're breaking that quarter note into a triplet, which is 3/8 notes, and then displays. And you have to change it back to quarter note. Okay, so I'm going to try this. And then we're going to do this. Okay. I'm going to try doing an attack on this, like really loud, like that. But then give us a 2 measure decrescendo. And this is going to be P. And then we're going to make sure that we do um, that do it? It did it. Yay! Sometimes it doesn't like to do my articulations like that. I only did that one. Okay, so that's what makes sense. The single note. Okay, so we need to change this to fortissimo. And then this obviously is going to be piano, which I wish, I don't know if, now I bring it to that one. And let's do this one as a single measure decrescendo. Okay, let's just hear this, the timpani and the bass drum together. I did like that, but I noticed I did not do the thing there. Okay, so let's listen to it with the brass and the timpani, and the percussion, I should say. So let's do this. Boink. I think my timpani might need to be come down in a, because that is a little too loud. Okay, let's hear. Because I didn't hear any of the percussive attack, even though it's probably not going to be that because it's really these are all low notes on all of these instruments. They're the lowest in their registers usually, and it's when you're doing the to get going. Sometimes that attack isn't very strong. It's much better if you're doing high note attacks because it's immediate, and this sometimes takes a couple of maybe half a second to really get there. So go ahead and listen to this from these guys again. I'm not really hearing the horns because the yeah these I'm going to do that. I'm going to make these hits mezzo forte because it's obscuring the brass totally, and I don't want to do that. Okay. I should just okay. So let's hear it now with that. See this. I may need to bring the yeah. I think I will. I may need to bring the bass drum down as well. So let's listen to that again. Yeah, I didn't really hear any of that attack, and that's not what I want. So I might to bring those down. Okay. In this case, it's going to be I have not figured out all of the keyboard shortcuts for MuseScore like I had with Finale. I was really good with Finale, Yeah, I think this is still too loud. I'm going to make that a forte, and I'm going to make that a mezzo forte. Actually, I think I'm going to make that mezzo forte too. I really want that percussiveness to come through with that brass hit, and I'm not hearing it. Um, hmm, we'll see. Okay, let's listen to that. I'm going to play it for the whole thing. I'm going to include the strings and then the bassoons. And let's just take. Well, I keep on wanting to display this right now, and right now I'm in the middle of composing, so I can't continue going back. Oh, yeah, let's listen to this. But yeah, that was much better. I'm gonna do that again. That was much better. Okay, let's go back. Yeah, see, I wish there were transport controls keyboard wise that I could go back and measure. I guess I can do that. Yeah, okay, that works. Yeah, I can still hear the percussion roll, but it's not overpowering the lower strings. Oh, I I never decrescendoed. Okay, right here we got to do that. Here, point. This was like, wonder how come it just got so more, got so much more. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, and then I think what I might do is do a crescendo because what I'm doing here is the reason why we're switching to 12/8 is now we're going to start getting busy. We're going to start having some more movement, and I'm bringing in the lower strings. I'm going to have some upper string stuff as well. And but let's take it from the very beginning with everything from this. Okay. So this is where I mean, I didn't mean to stop it there, but this has got to be faster. I had meant to change that to 100. Yep. Okay. So, um, I do like maybe having the, and it's possible that that's too fast to have decent sounding double basses. Because sometimes, because that when you're doing on that string, that attack isn't really hard. So let's hear the strings. Actually, I never did this too. I tie those notes and tie these notes. Yeah. So let's just start with here. Mm, yeah. Okay. Hmm. So yeah, now I'm going for more of a triplet fill for the underlying rhythms, the kind of the driving thing that's going to drive us into this more competitive style. Let's see here. What do I want to do? Let's take this again. Let's go. Oh, actually, yeah, right here. I need. I think I'm going to do something with the. Oh, okay. So that's a solo. These are okay. So this is yeah. This is the violist. I already started. This is a solo. This is a solo cello. So I gotta. Okay. So. It's a dun 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 dun. So I need to come up with something here. Okay, let's hear what does that sound like with it. Obviously, we need that, and we want this to be loud. So we're gonna bring this up to forte. It's gonna be. I've noticed that the violas on the Muse Sounds violas are at a substantially lower dynamic level than everything else when played back. But I kind of corrected it with the mixer. I think I did that in the mixer. No, I didn't really don't change it, but okay, well I will if it has problems. But okay, let's go ahead. Strings. Yeah, I'm not hearing that at all. Which I might come in later, but like this I would have to make like a that even to be heard at all. Yeah, I don't even hear it. So in order for just the I'll always go back and change these dynamics whenever. Right now, I'm just doing it so I can hear it. But when I polish up the score afterward, it'll be different. So let's go ahead and. Oops, come on. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so right here. Okay, so this sounds like something I will need to bring there. Okay, and this also sounds like something I'm going to be needing to repeat. But I think I'm going to have. Probably that one. You gotta remove. See, with finale, you can get right in there to just drag and grab, but This one, you have to kind of select them. I want them to be staccato, yes, but I want them to be accented. So I'm going to remove those, and then I'm going to do that. And I think what I'll do, copy and paste. Dun 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 bum, 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 bum. Okay. I'll do that here too. I really want those to be accented. See, isn't this enthralling? Sorry, I know. Composing, it's like this. The way I look at it, it's kind of like it's a bunch of like, and then you have these little peaks that go, wow, this is cool. I can feel impressed to do this, but then you have like long moments of the decision making and testing out and figuring out things. And then you have the results, and that's kind of, I'm probably going to be doing a lot of editing this in order to make that happen. But let's go ahead and listen to. I don't need to have the dynamics redone, but I do that for there. Okay, so let's go ahead and play it from here. Oops. So it doesn't really hear it. That really, even now, it's like not, okay, I'll add let's see if that does any differences here. I think I will reinforce the violas with, like, say, English horns or something else. I really like I think I'm gonna do this. So, oh, that's right, I forgot. I'm gonna do, yeah. No, not that one. So I like that, and I want that to be really, these two to be accented. And then this is going to be a softer roll. So let's go ahead and we'll make that, no, not, yeah, loud. And this is going to be mezzo piano with a crescendo. I'm just going to copy that. Okay. Okay, so let's hear that. Let's just hear. Oh, I forgot. I gotta do the. Okay. I like that. Okay, so copy. And this is where it goes into the dun 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 dun. Yeah, okay, so let's just hear what this sounds like together. Okay, I do like that. Um, maybe that should be MF. I don't know. I'm, but this is going to be a C. That's still C's. Hmm. You can hear it, but man, what the heck? Yeah, that's my only gripe about MuseScore is it there we go. So okay, so if we listen to this from I'll make those accented ones. So let's see. So I do like that. Okay, I do like the idea of maybe even having this be not enough of a. I think I need to do is have this be like that. So it crescendos up to, you know, yeah. That's gonna have to be here too. Even maybe up to a fortissimo. Cause see, I want that to happen a little faster with the crescendo, and I want it to be a little bit louder, but I don't want to over. See, I think this is going to get buried a little bit by the brass because the brass is going to be accenting along with. Well, some of the brass is going to be accenting. I think the lower brass is going to be accenting with the timpani and the bass drum. I should probably have a tam tam hit here. Okay, I heard that's E3. Okay, it's down here. Okay. Okay. Then we have to do this. Now it's just that. Well, I want it to ring through. It's not like I'm going to have it hit each time, but I want it to ring. Okay. Okay. So tie. Yep. But this is going to be a. I don't know what should we make it. Let's give it a forte first, and just see what happens. Maybe I make that one that way. I have a louder, then a little bit less loud hit. Boom, boom. And this is going to go with the same thing with the timpani. I like this. Okay, let's hear what that sounds like. I don't know why it has that almost phasing sound, but let's do this. Okay, let's bring this to there. We're gonna do the same thing. Yeah, most of the stuff that I do when I'm doing this kind of stuff, it's more just tweaking, just little differences here and there, and it takes time. Okay, let's hear this. Let's hear these guys together. I do like that. Okay. And I think I like that so much. I'm going to do it like that. I forgot to change. Yeah, that's going to be forte. Okay. There we go. All right, let's hear it with everything, including, and I might actually reproduce this as well. Is this where it starts again? No, there, right there. Okay. Okay. So let's save this. I can't tell you how many times. Now it does have autosave for like every I think minute or so, but there's been times where I've lost stuff because something happened in it. Now I may end up having to take those back, bring those back dynamically, depending on if it completely overpowers what I want to do with the brass, which I'm going to do next. But I think I'm actually going to copy that part, and I'm going to have the bassoon double that. So, I mean, I don't really hear too much problem with that. All right, so save. See, and this whole pattern has um, the potential for all sorts of harmonic, dissonances and other things and other variances of the actual rhythm. So instead of just a strict triplet thing, I can really kind of make this more interesting by instead of a da da da, I could go dum ba dum bum ba dum bump other instruments that can be countering a little bit of that. So we'll see. Okay, I am going to no no choir yet. Yeah, after that last week's episode, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to do the lyrics using AI, but it's a nice tool. But there's still a part of me that struggles with using AI from an artistic standpoint. But there's also a part of me that goes, I probably wouldn't be able to get those same results with a human unless I actually know someone who knows Latin, who knows that to do it for me, right? I don't know Latin. I took Latin in college, but I don't really remember much about it. It's been so long. But anyway, I'm going to get on this way. So we're going to do accents. I'm going to probably have the horns. Okay, so this is a horn solo, and this is six horns as a group. I'm going to have them do a cluster. And maybe I'll bring them in here when we after the first four measures and bringing them in. So, hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna let's listen. So if I right now it's set to soft, but um, or I don't know. I want to maybe have that and then a resolve. Yeah. Okay. Let's just hear what that sounds like whenever it comes in. Okay, so it's going to be whole notes. Okay. And I want it to grow like crescendo down. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this. What does this sound like? That's loud. Okay, and that's not what I want.